Paul Pogba, when we saw him in LA and just even speaking to him, like, I mean, the life that generally you would think you would see in Paul Pogba's eyes. I mean, just like you could see, like sometimes you can just see in another man's eyes, like behind what is going on, and just like you could tell that something was not right.
It's a good time to be Neymar Jr. right now because he just became the top scorer for the Brazilian national team. But I feel like things just started going downhill from there.
Erased PSG from football. they ruined Neymar's legacy.
The football world, the football leaders, the mafia, whatever, should install some sort of rule that puts an age limit on when clubs can sign players.
Messi's left foot, Ronaldo's right foot, the heading ability of Sergio Ramos, Mbappe's pace, and the brain of Iniesta.
You get brains from Iniesta?
Nah, but you can cut it right there, though. You can cut it right there.
Yeah, 5ASIDE podcast, footy discussions from our perspective and our perspective only. And today you are joined by
Yo. What's up? Seb?
Elisha.
Gabriel.
Kendrick.
Yes, and welcome back to another episode of the 5ASIDE podcast. This is episode 36, season 3, episode 3. Welcome back, whether you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or watching on YouTube. We appreciate y'all so much for tuning in, tapping in with the 5ASIDE podcast. Listen, today, on this week, on 5ASIDE, we're talking about a whole lot in the football world. We're talking about AC Milan getting smacked up by their neighbors, Inter Milan, in the Milan derby. We're talking about Barcelona. Are we back? Huh? Are we getting happy too quickly? We talking about records being broken during the international break. Neymar breaking the Pele'S scoring record. Yamine Lamal becoming the youngest player to score and debut for the Spanish national team. Talking about Germany's national team slump, Italy's national team slump. AFCON is coming up. Damn. Are you fine?
You need. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Difficult.
Yeah, we got a lot of shit for stuff, bro.
AFCON is coming up.
Come on.
Yeah, we're talking about everything and anything in the world of football.
For sure.
But to get started, we're going to start with the question of the week. And the question of the week, Seb, is...
The question of this week, I want to ask you guys, it was Fashion Week in New York. So I asked you guys to, keep a lookout as you guys were walking around. What kit did you guys see most being worn out and about in New York this week?
I would say off rip. It's unfortunate, but Man United.
Really?
To be fair, there's a lot of Man United fans in the US, I feel. Like, it's one of the big... That's, for me, was the factor that decided, like, how big Man United is really historically as a club. Because even if the past few years they haven't really been doing well, people are still like all over wearing Man United kits. And that's the one I've seen the most, I think, since I've been in the US, period, and especially this week. So, yeah.
I say in New York, or just in general, out and about, I see a lot of Brazil. A lot of Brazil, especially if it's not even the official kit. But the girls caught on to like the little crop top and the yellow, you know what I'm saying? So I say anything Brazil related, whether it's the actual jersey or the crop, I've been seeing that all summer for sure.
Yeah, Brazil is definitely the default fashion jersey, soccer jersey. And the close follow-up is any vintage Premier League kit.
Facts, with the collars,
United, Chelsea.
Definitely collared kits in general. That whole kind of 90s vibe, I think, is coming back for sure. Yeah. Just in fashion in general. Yeah.
What have you been seeing?
I see the Columbia kit all the time.
Really?
Like, so often. That yellow Columbia kit, maybe it's just because it's yellow so you notice it more. Yeah. But I feel like that the Colombians, like every Colombian I know has that kit. So I just feel like they wear it at least once a week. And so you'll see it at least 3 or 4 times you go outside, you'll see that yellow Columbia kit. I don't know. It's cool.
Overall, though, I got to say... Yo, isn't it crazy, though, how much football kits are taking over?
Yeah, it's nuts.
Everywhere, bro.
Over, bro.
Everywhere you walk, you see somebody wearing a soccer jersey.
Who don't know nothing about footy.
Bro.
And I love it, though. Like, we love that, yeah.
It's all drip. It's either soccer jerseys or sambas.
Sambas.
People are wearing sambas.
Everyone is wearing sambas. If you go to Soho, you see sambas 17 times.
Yeah.
I promise you, bro.
Yeah, literally.
Promise you. It's crazy.
Like New Balance.
New Balance, too? Yeah, same thing. It's OD.
It's a new thing. And also, I feel like people are paying attention more to the game. I feel like
for sure.
Like random places you'll go, if you're wearing a soccer jersey or you compliment someone, they might either know a lot about football or they'll be like, oh yeah, I just started watching, or yeah, somebody introduced me. Like I went to an NYCFC game this past weekend.
Okay.
And there was a dude that was standing next to me. He was like, yeah, this is my first this is my first soccer game. My friend just took me and he was mad drunk and excited. I said, yeah, what's taking you so long? He's like, oh, my friend just never took me. And people are getting into it. So
for sure,
I'm loving it, man. It's a good time to be in it. It's a good time to be a fan. It's a good time to be Neymar Jr. right now because he just became the top scorer, for the Brazilian national team. 79 goals. He eclipsed Pele, eclipsed R9, eclipsed Ronaldinho. He is now the top scorer of all time for Brazil. So congratulations to Neymar. We got to give a hand to that because that is a legendary stat line, man. He scored the second to last and the final goal in a 5-1 win over Bolivia.
And he almost scored an all-time great goal if he had.
Bruh.
Yeah.
If that was the goal that did it.
This is almost an all-time great.
Oh my goodness, bro. Like it was a classic Neymar sequence.
Yep.
Didn't score.
But he did it, bro.
He got two.
I think that this raises the question for me, though. It's like, I think sometimes we forget truly how great Neymar is because of his time at PSG. Yeah. And I remember at some point we talked about, I don't know if it was last episode or on the game show where you spoke about that it was a bad risk for him to go
to PSG.
The one before.
Yeah. So can we still consider that Neymar has underachieved in football? Mm-hmm. Or when we look at his career to this point as it's coming to an end, has he had an objectively successful career?
He has, bro. Yes.
Because people are asking the question.
He objectively, bro, he's fucking Neymar.
Yes.
Just go to his Wikipedia. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
The individual trophies, the team trophies, the national team success.
Records.
If that's not a successful career, how many players have been successful in the history of the sport? Now, did he live up to his full potential? It's going to be your point. But if you're saying objectively successful, it's not even, we're joking about athletes. We're saying Neymar was not a successful athlete, bro. Are you kidding me?
No, that sentence is ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying.
Neymar was not a successful athlete. You're an idiot.
Yeah, that's what
However, are you satisfied with Neymar's career if you were a fan of his growing up? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so, but it goes back to what I was saying in 2 episodes ago before the game show, was that Ronaldo and Messi have ruined our heads for thinking what players are supposed to achieve.
You know, that's one thing.
I think it's really messed our heads
But for Neymar, it's just him. Because when you look at, I think that, like we were talking about branding and stuff, like in our group chat a few weeks ago, and branding, the biggest part of branding is consistency, right? When you have a brand, people expect something from you. Yeah. So Neymar's brand coming from Santos into Barca was, you expected something from him. You expected flair. You expected skills. Yeah. You expected flashiness. You expected a kid who plays, who has fun, who tries to ridicule defenders. Yeah. That's what you expect. You expect pace. And then he got around Messi, he got around Iniesta and Xavi, and now you're expecting free kicks. You're expecting crazy crosses. Like, you're expecting like finesse, sharp passes. His game was constantly elevating. And when you're seeing that elevation constantly, like, it's not an up and down elevation. It was a straight up, straight line. And when you're seeing that, you're expecting that to keep going, especially if he's in the age where usually that's what's supposed to continue to happen. You're supposed to keep getting better. He goes to PSG and it just all goes to shit from there. So I think it's like, it's more than just Ronaldo and Messi. I think it's just himself based on how his career started, especially as a Barca fan. I'm looking at it, I'm like, even if he goes to PSG, he's still my favorite player, and I'm expecting to still see great things. And things just started, you know, the injuries were a part of it too, but I feel like things just started going downhill from there. So I think that was all him because he set the expectations, not Messi or Ronaldo.
I think we need to erase PSG from football. To be honest.
I feel like when I think about Neymar, I think about Kyrie Irving. Because I feel like both of them
less conscious,
have like the flashy players. Very popular, very like accomplished. Both have won on the international scale and have won on the club scale. But neither of them really feel like they fully realized their potential or won as much as they could have. Kyrie's been like dancing around teams, having drama off the field, injuries. Neymar's had drama off the field.
Their careers have been parallel, low-key.
So it's like
they've had parallel careers.
Yeah. Neymar's way better though.
They're around the same age.
Neymar's way better.
You think so?
I don't know.
At what?
Kyrie
at
the end of his career,
most skillful basketball player ever.
But
Kyrie's a Hall of Famer.
Anytime he's had his own team, he hasn't gotten it done.
You show me a Neymar team where he had it, where he got it done. Show me a Neymar team where he got it done.
Likewise. Neymar hasn't been really able to carry
but like
his
to the
own
point
team.
where he went to join Luka. They fell from like 7th to out of the playoffs.
Same thing with PSG.
What are
They
you?
didn't get worse by adding Neymar. Teams don't get worse
Not by adding
No,
Neymar, but he was
had the
still
pieces
he had a
and
stacked
they didn't
team.
do
and
well.
Hold
didn't
on.
do
This
much.
is an awful take. How's that an awful take?
Wait, it's an awful take to say Neymar is better at soccer than Kyrie is at basketball?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the all-time,
Really bad
I
take.
do the all-time rankings. First off, what stat does Kyrie have that's close to being the all-time top goal scorer for Brazil or anything of that level?
Well, I mean, if Kyrie played for Australia, he'd be the all-time Australia top scorer. He would.
Australia?
He's Australian.
Is Australia's weight in the sport equivalent to Brazil in football,
not.
bro?
It's not.
Like, what are we doing?
But
This is a tough
you
comparison.
found a
No,
very
I
you found a very strange.
I like-
I don't think it's a horrible take. I don't think it's a horrible
It's a
take,
horrible
but
Yeah, Neymar is
but it's
better
very
at-
close. But it's
Kyrie's
closer
never.
than
No,
you think.
time out.
Yeah, it's closer than you might.
No,
It's closer
actually,
than
it's
you
a
might.
Are
really
you
good
saying like it's
comparison.
miles ahead, or it's
I'm
just like
saying Neymar was consistently as, let's say, what, third best player in the world for a decade?
Yeah.
Kyrie's never been, to most analysts, players, whatever, a true top 5 all-around player in the NBA.
In his position, yeah.
I think as a
Position,
point guard-
Neymar, period.
But
Yeah.
it's a little different. though,
Neymar is
'cause-
like an all-time GOAT.
Yeah,
Okay,
but that's because
okay.
they wouldn't really put defenders.
That's all I'm saying.
It's different because in footy, you wouldn't put defenders on an all-time list,
Yeah.
really.
Let me explain. Let me,
Sergio
so,
Ramos is.
So if there was like an
You know what I'm
all-time,
saying?
I know what you're saying.
if there was an all-time draft, I think Neymar would go top 30, top 20, top 30 in football.
all time.
All time,
which is extremely high.
Top 30, top 30,
20.
top 30, top 30.
To be fair,
Yeah,
30.
okay.
to be safe, I was in
To
top
be
30,
safe.
but I think top 20 for sure.
Kyrie would also go top 30.
All right,
Yes.
and that's where the combo ends. Next topic.
You don't think so? What the fuck?
Top 30.
Top 30 all time
First off,
basketball players?
Yo, fans, they don't even watch basketball
Why
like
did
that.
it
So
have to
first of all,
end? Why did it
it's
have to
not
end?
top 30.
Yeah,
I don't
Kyrie
even
is
know
top
if he
30
got-
Top
players of all
what point
time.
guards?
Huh?
Top what point guards?
Is he as good as Steph? No. Magic Johnson? No. Now he's as good as Steph Curry.
Not as accomplished, but as good as skillful.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Kyrie is like that.
Skillful.
Stop it, bro.
Does
Bro,
not
this is
res-
a Knicks fan. I forgot. A Knicks fan. My
Yeah,
fault.
Curry's dropped 54 on us. I should hate him too.
Moving,
We're not, bro. That's this.
Moving on. Moving on.
Hold on, let me get my PSG point off.
Yes, get
your
erase,
PSG point off.
erase PSG from football. No, but seriously, because
Why?
they ruined Neymar's legacy. They almost ruined Messi's too. Like, let's not forget.
All right. Ruin is crazy.
They're a team that had the audacity to boo Messi. They're a team
Yes.
that had the audacity to go to Neymar's house and throw paper towels at his backyard. Like,
No, the
if
fans are
Neymar goes to a team with actual integrity, a fan base with actual integrity that understands football, perhaps we don't look at him as weirdly as we do now. But for 3 years, Neymar played for a franchise that didn't protect him.
Yeah.
I think he
For
needed
3
to.
years.
I think he just needed to win the UCL against Bayern
At the
in
time,
2020. If he
at the
wins
time
that,
when
we look
Neymar
at
went to
whatever.
PSG, Pep was at Bayern still, no? I believe
Or
so.
the beginning of City.
might-
I
the
think
beginning of City.
yeah, because I
It
think
was like a year off. Or
I
something.
almost remember him being
Yeah.
linked to a city.
to me it was like
But those
I don't
two
know.
back-
I can't, say like it already happened. But I think if Neymar went to Pep Guardiola-led Manchester City, his career would have went completely differently.
Of course.
Completely different. I think it would have been exponentially better.
Not if he gets getting
Led
hurt.
by Pep.
Pep would have made him just be another Grealish.
Yeah.
I don't think
Turn
so.
around,
back
It's
and
Neymar,
pass.
bro.
Yeah.
It's Neymar, bro.
Nah, but that's when they did have
I
Son
think
and
PSG,
Sterling,
Man
at least.
City, those aren't Neymar teams. He should have gone to Arsenal.
Nah.
Should've gone-
Arsenal was not the
Arsenal
team
at
back
the
then.
time- at the time it
that
wasn't.
was
That's why
not
I
it.
just get so
That was
stuck.
not
At the
it.
time, it
Arsenal
wasn't.
was kind of absurd, bro.
No, I don't mean Arsenal
Arsenal
at the
now
time.
would make more
But I
sense.
mean, Neymar's vibe does not fit PSG. It doesn't fit Man City. It fits a more like
Dino
More-
played
if
at
it's a-
PSG, to be fair.
He could.
I think they would have
If
let
it's a
him
more open
rock
fan base.
with Man
He
City.
could have been at Liverpool.
Liverpool
Crystal
would have made
Palace.
I can't
sense.
see that nigga living in Liverpool.
Crystal Palace
I can see
in
that.
London.
At Craven Cottage in London, but apparently
Not
we don't
Crystal
know ball.
Palace.
I think
Palace isn't like that.
Neymar.
With the
For the name of the team,
He
Liverpool,
would have got dreads.
Man City,
Definitely.
but
He already did. Remember, he got the
Yeah, that's what I'm
extensions. Yeah, the lock.
he's Neymar. He would have had to be in a big city.
Of
But
course, that's what you're saying.
speaking of big city,
Come on.
big city, big games, big names. Lamine Yamal, big
Mijo.
player,
Mijo.
big 7.
Come on.
Big 7. I wish he was number 7. That would have been a great,
Shit, he'll take it on the
ad-lib,
national team, bro.
Big city, that would have
young
been
boy.
great.
He should
But
be. Yeah.
Lamine Yamal became the youngest player to debut for the Spanish national
Vamos
team and
España.
score. Youngest scorer, 16 years old, 57 days old.
We're cooking
and
right now.
scored on his debut.
He did.
for Morocco.
Beautiful goal.
You say he should have played for Morocco? Why should he have played
his
for Morocco?
decision.
I don't
Bruh.
have enough.
Yeah, just let my man choose his fucking nationality. He was born in Spain.
7-1 win, Spain versus Georgia.
Yeah.
In a Euros qualifier. Yamine Lamal
hold
scored.
on. What's his
Yeah.
name?
Lamine?
Yamal.
Lamine or Lamine
He got a
Yamal?
Moroccan name, bro.
He's Moroccan.
He is Moroccan.
Yeah.
He's Moroccan. That's fuck.
He chose look,
Come on,
he
don't
wants to
join
win.
Hakeem and them.
He wants to win.
Yo,
They beat
fuck out of
y'all.
Yo, you can't even say that. Give me tight today,
can't
He
bro.
even
wants to
say
win
that.
trophies.
You can't even say
He
that,
didn't do a
bro.
World Cup semifinals. Cool, but you want to win it? Who has the star on
Bro,
the
you
chest?
didn't even make it close.
Who has the star on the chest?
Who
Who has the star on the chest?
One star. It's a
These
lonely
countries
star.
got stars.
Lonely star.
It was
Shivering.
more recent than your star. We'll get to your national team. Don't do that.
Either way, speaking of national team, speaking of Lamine Yamal,
Yeah.
Spain right now are second place in Group A in the Euros qualifier. Guess who's first? Have y'all looked at the
Someone
group standing?
random. I don't remember though.
Scotland is first.
They're balling.
in their group?
Come on, Scotland.
They have
15
Evan
points.
Ferguson, the 18-year-old.
They got McTominay.
Brighton. Yeah.
Let's go.
They
Tierney, who's on Real
Yeah.
Sociedad now playing well. They got a
first
little
place
spot, bro.
in Group A, which is very, very interesting to me. I never expected Scotland to be
It's
first in
That's
anything
annoying.
football.
That's
but-
annoying because that means Spain
Yeah.
is gonna go into a group with like England or something.
There's
The
still
way-
a lot. There's
The way,
good
the way
amount
they're
of
gonna
games,
seed it.
though.
I hope.
Also, it's very close.
Is that
Spain's
annoying?
winning like every game.
No, because then it means we're gonna.
What's
get
the
them.
point
Italy's
difference?
gonna get
Spain is actually right now
always
9 points, but they have
How much is Scotland? A game in hand?
they have a game in hand.
Oh, so
So
it's too early.
Albania's
Yeah.
top of their group.
That's
Albania
exciting.
is also top of Group E. Yeah,
Okay.
there you go.
Albania.
Speaking of Lamine Yamal, one of the most talented young players in the world, still only barely 16 years old, is obviously a big thing at that age is what boot deal are you going to sign? So if y'all were in his position, would you go with the major brand, Nike, Adidas, but have to pick from what's already existing there? Or would you want a custom cleat with the likes of New Balance, Puma, Skechers, now with Harry Kane? So which kind of journey would y'all choose?
I think the most obvious thing is to go with a Nike, because I think that one thing that I like nowadays is you don't have to necessarily pick a long-term boot deal. Like you don't have to just be stuck with one brand. So if he picks a Nike now, kind of gets the Nike buzz, gets the grandeur of being with Nike, and then I just know what he's
I was waiting for Seb.
what he's gonna say. But
I don't know what
we know what your affiliations are.
I have no
We
affiliation.
know what your affiliations are.
Take
No, but I feel like I would go with a short term.
Yeah.
I'd go with a short term Nike deal. Get like a, I feel like you get a nice little Vapor
Max.
or, Mercurial vibe or whatever. Sign a short term like 1-2 year deal, and then maybe explore his options depending on how he starts performing. Because I think for me, most importantly is that because there's so much hype with his name and with what he's accomplishing, like I would hate it. Not hate, but I really would not like it to be like an Ansu situation where now he gets jinx and there's so much hype around him and he starts like the pressure starts getting to him. So I don't want him to get a humble boot deal, Nike 1-2 year, see how he progresses and see if he can, either make his own way or continue with Nike in the future. But,
Yeah, I'd want to do Nike as well. I think they just are the best brand when it comes to footy boots. And then I want that to eventually turn into a custom line like you have Jordan, you have LeBron, you have Drake's Nocta, and eventually you get your own logo, get your own boot from that. But I would definitely pick Nike personally.
If I was getting a bag already, like I was good monetarily, I would go with some super local brand. Like I would have a full kit Wankers boot, or like
I love it.
a Mifflin,
That's fire.
a Mifflin Beausoleil collab. Like
Facts.
go with somebody who was like, well, that geographical area gonna fuck with me crazy because like he turned down Nike, and he like went back to like a local brand. And
Crocs.
Now that brand is busting. Crocs is too big.
Are you assuming that they already make cleats, or
No,
would
I'ma
you be
be
their
the first cleat.
So like big baller brand type shit.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, bet.
that could be fire.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I don't understand why players don't make their own cleats more often.
Probably a lot of
create
fucking
their
work.
own brand. No. I know it's a lot of work. Hire someone to do it though. Like
It's a lot of bread.
It's also the quality.
Hire Seb.
A lot of these brands have a track record of like the technology that they have, especially since most footballers, like, I don't know if a lot of fans know this, but like if let's say a footballer is wearing a Mercurial, that specific Mercurial that they're wearing is fit specifically for them. And the one y'all are buying at the store is not the same one that they're wearing. So it's also like the technology that they have access to does help with their performance in a way. So that could be something.
I know for a fact that like they have the facilities and they have the money to like create their own like shoe lines. That's not like that's something they can do. So do it. I just think that like if players all started coming out with their own boots and all created like their own custom lines, the shoe game would be what it used to be. Because I remember growing up, like you would like the soccer.com like magazine would come out and kids would be like, okay, what cleats are we getting for this season?
Yeah.
The
hype is not the same. The hype
With
is not
cleats?
the same
That's
around
fair.
cleats. And perhaps it's because I don't play as much anymore. Perhaps it's because I'm not like I don't have a season coming up, so like I'm not really into that as much as I used to be. But I just feel like on social media the hype for cleats has died down a bit.
I think the hype is still there, but it's not tied to players as much anymore.
Yeah. Okay.
Like they'll be like, oh, that's a fire boot. Like people will get excited, but it won't be like, oh, so and so's boot.
True.
Is about
I
to
think
drop.
custom cleats, if anything, is more. Has
Do
more
y'all
hype
remember
around
when
it.
y'all customized Nike?
Of course, Nike ID.
I never got them, but I would just do
Oh,
it.
what?
Yeah,
Hours.
You just go on the website.
You be saving it as a bookmark. You never go by that
Never
shit, bro.
get it.
Oh my god.
What a
Same with like the
memory.
dunks, the Air Forces, all that kind of stuff.
OD.
But that was never gonna happen.
Whoa.
Never
OD,
gonna buy
OD.
that.
Bro,
I had a question
Yeah.
for y'all about Lamine Yamal.
yeah.
Yes.
Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
Something like that.
How would I word this? I guess like, do y'all think that Footy, the football world, the football leaders, the mafia, whatever, should install some sort of rule that puts an age limit on when clubs can sign players? Like similar to how the NBA has like a 1-year rule in college where you got to go and play for a year because
Or G League now.
we've been the G League or some sort of like semi-professional
Yeah.
league before you like sign for a Barcelona or Real Madrid because we have players at 15, 16. Before you know, it's going to be 13 and 14-year-olds.
They're already in the
signing,
US.
yeah,
It's not like
signing,
Sacramento or
signing to
something.
like these major clubs.
Yeah.
And I think the worry for me is like, are these people actually like mentally prepared for what they're getting tossed into? Like we have 15, 16-year-olds getting tossed into a locker room with 35-year-olds who are doing ungodly, activities, talking about crazy things. Like, there's more to like, not even just the sport itself, but just being tossed into that world. I'm thinking about my little brother going into that world by himself in another country away from his family. Like, do we think there should be some sort of limit for like just to preserve these kids?
Like innocence, yeah.
I don't think so because I think it's been around so long and we've seen so many. No, he's saying age limit. I don't think age limit solves it. I think in general we need the best possible resources for athletes at the club from a physical standpoint, a mental standpoint, making sure they're tapped in with the local culture, learning the language. So I think it's more about making the best environment possible because if you're good enough at 16 to be coming off for Spain, scoring in your debut, like you should be able to do that. I think it's more just giving them the right resource to make sure that they can be mentally prepared for it. They can learn how to handle it. They can get the, sports therapy that they're going to need because who knows how that's going to affect them when they get older. Yeah. And they don't end up like a Freddie Adu who really went through too much, going pro at like 14, which is obviously sad for us to see. So I think it's more about having this stuff in place because footy, you physically can be that good at that age.
Yeah.
Basketball and other sports, it might be actual harm. If you're on the court at that age, especially like American football, there's just no way.
I was going to say in terms of, I think it really matters on who the leader is of that team.
Yeah.
Who the managers are, who the head honchos, who the bosses are. Because I'm looking at a team like Colorado and Deion Sanders. Like that's somebody who the parents of the players who are coming onto the team are saying like, I trust this guy with everything when it comes to my son because he's seemingly like a good father and a responsible, upstanding black man. And I think that once
Why did you have to mention his race?
Because that's something I'm proud of. Because he's like him.
That's for the hate comments.
That's something I'm proud
to
of.
get hate comments.
Because
I love what you said until you brought in race, buddy. Unfollow.
Yeah, that's how they are, bro.
I can hear it now. But yeah.
Yo, that's bad funny.
Dr. Umar will protect me. It's cool. But
His race doesn't matter.
yeah, no, he's
Fuck you.
He is a black man.
Literally.
And yeah, and that's something that but again, there's a lot of parents who are also like, because this is a black man who's coaching my son rather than a white dude at a PWI on top of it, it's like coming from an HBCU also, there's a lot about him being a black man that also brings value to it. 100%. So, yeah, I think it depends on who the manager is. It depends on who also the seniors on the team are also. It's a case-by-case thing. But if the environment is healthy enough for the young players to thrive, then I think if they have the capabilities, they should be able to. Like, I think there's a lot of players, like we have an episode with Matai.
I was just about to say,
coming out. Like, he's 15 and he doesn't act like a regular 15-year-old. So I think it depends on the player. It depends on the environment itself. Obviously, again, because of the environment, they should try their best to try and keep it sports focused and not let the player indulge into too much of like the lifestyle of the older players, because that could be too big of a transition to them to be exposed to. But because you should protect them, they're kids at the end of the day.
Speaking of you saying that, I'll let you go too. So I low-key haven't heard the crazy story about the 16-year-olds wilding out with the 30-year-olds.
Well, you wouldn't.
Not even necessarily.
No, but we hear a lot of stories. I'm actually just surprised though that I haven't heard of like the dudes being weird with it. Like,
it's not even just about that, but it goes into like other stuff too. Like a lot of these kids are like not really being able to like finish school properly.
Yeah.
And then we have, all these stories about kids in academies or who get moved up to the first team and they get dropped. Yeah. And it's like they are doing all, harming themselves or just really lost because they banked everything on this one thing. And so it's like you're making these kids commit to something all the way in from such an early age with like a insane risk of like if things go wrong, someone gets injured. And even I was thinking about before, like who's the last person that like really started from a young age and recently and is like going crazy?
Raheem Sterling. Didn't he start at like 17?
Odegaard?
Low-key, most of the players go pro at like 17.
No.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying though.
Your question is right. Who's the last player that like we hyped up to the point where they're going to be like the next Messi, the next Ronaldo, blah, 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 and then has achieved it? It's one. It's Mbappe.
Haaland.
That's it. It's Haaland and Mbappe.
Yeah.
So, wait, if you're saying to that level, I thought you just meant like successful teenagers we've seen become stars.
But even Raheem, that's a long time ago. He's like in his late 20s now.
Successful teenagers that we hyped up who have gone on to, like, for example, Endrick in Brazil.
Yeah.
Bro, it's been long for him since the media picked him up. It's been
he's still in Brazil, right?
Yeah. And he was supposed to come over. Remember that?
No, they signed him to go a year later.
No, this year.
I don't believe so.
Bro, but this year. Y'all didn't bring him over.
He's also assigned at 15.
To be fair, the other people that Real have brought in too would make it very difficult for him to.
No, but the point is,
that transition.
Y'all told the 16-year-old that next year you're going to Spain to play for Real Madrid, and then he didn't go.
I'm gonna fact check that. Seb, you got to give your take.
I think there should just be more responsibility on the teams, but I don't think there should be an age limit. Maybe some more guidelines for younger players. Like if you're under 18, you have more restrictions, but I don't think it should be a full restriction of if you're under 18, if you're 15, 16, that you shouldn't be able to play professional sports.
I do think there should be an age limit though.
At what, 18? 17?
Yeah, 18, like adulthood. 18. I don't.
Is 18 even really adulthood?
I don't think we could. I mean, bro,
it's a very arbitrary number.
No, because think about it.
It's not an arbitrary number at all.
It's a fair.
Based on like development. It's based on development. If we're talking about
but yeah, go ahead.
We're talking about like making sure that kids actually like fully get through their schooling.
Yeah.
And actually have an understanding of like what opportunities are out there for life beyond football.
Fair.
Making sure that kids aren't in environments with people twice their age doing unruly activities and potentially, being put in very inappropriate situation.
Fair.
Making sure that kids aren't getting unnecessary pressure on them. Because even if you're 15, 16, and you have the balls or you have the mental fortitude to put up with that type of like situation, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, the fact that you talk about inappropriate things and you said if they have the balls,
and you have the balls.
Crazy.
Late night with 5ASIDE.
Wow.
Holy shit. Scrap the whole thing.
It was a good point, bro. It was a good point. You almost landed it. You almost landed it.
Fuck.
Yeah. If those kids have the balls,
I was close.
You sold the clip, bro.
Yeah. Kids have the balls.
Well, yeah. You get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying.
I think, I'll say one last thing I'll say on that is that all these guidelines, all these things are stuff that you could protect these kids from while still keeping them focused on the game itself. one of the biggest things that I would like to see for not just young players, for athletes, period, is teams actually setting up like an environment or a system where there's always like a plan B, or there's always some sort of sort of like, hey, these are options, even if you don't want to get out of football. Because I'm looking online, and nowadays there's a culture of be an entrepreneur, get your LLC, you know what I'm saying? Like tax write-off, all of that. 9-to-5s are bad. When it's like, bro, 9-to-5s are important. 9-to-5s are the groundsmen, is the security people, is the athletic trainers, is the
marketing, finance,
the finance,
stuff,
the lawyers.
Yeah.
It's the concession stands people. Like, if you don't have 9-to-5s, football doesn't run.
Yep.
Right? That
Nothing
machine,
runs. The world don't run.
Nothing runs.
Yeah.
Right? The world doesn't run without 9-to-5. Everybody can't be an entrepreneur. Everybody shouldn't be an entrepreneur. So it's like, I think also everybody shouldn't be an athlete or an artist or an entertainer either. So it's like, I think that for athletes specifically, if every team says, we care about more than just what you can do out there on the field, let's give them options. Let's make sure that at least you're instructed on, here's what you can do still within an environment that you're comfortable on. So for these kids, so that they don't feel like, because one thing that really, really like genuinely breaks my heart is every time I hear the news of a kid who got cut by an academy and ended up taking their life because of it. But then I'm like, damn, if that kid understood that he could still be great, or she can still be great beyond like their athletic abilities, and that there's more that they could do within, if they really love the game that much and they want to be a part of it and make an impact, there's so much you can do within that without being a player. So that, I think if the teams do a better job at that, then I don't think it's necessary to cut the age limit. But again, if it's to protect the players, I wouldn't be mad at it either.
Yeah.
So
I think we just need better protection, because talking about academy players taking their lives, they're not even pro yet.
Yeah.
So I think the entire pipeline of turning these kids from that U4 or U5, whatever, star boy to, the pressures of becoming professional, I think the whole pipeline just needs better care. Because if you're messed up in the head at 17, when you turn 18, that's probably not just going to magically change. So I think if you fix the pipeline, then the age limits won't be an issue. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
If you got
have
anything
anything super meaningful to add.
Okay.
One thing I was going to say, though, you might have something meaningful to say about this. Italy lost to North Macedonia. What's up with that?
First of all, we didn't lose.
That was
Oh, you drew?
We drew.
Oh, my fault. I just wanted to make sure
That's
you...
basically a loss.
Well, they did lose to North Macedonia.
No, 1-1 to North Macedonia.
And they didn't qualify for the World Cup, which was crazy.
Oh, wow, wait.
crazy.
They didn't...
Yeah.
Damn, I forgot.
No, that's why the North Macedonia part's crazy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that part's crazy.
Wait, Italy didn't play in the last World
You
Cup.
didn't make the World Cup.
Last two is nuts. They did win the Euros, though, to be fair.
Insert clip. Insert the Haiti,
clip.
Italy food conversation.
Italy, Haiti
Cup.
food.
I don't know how to respond. Like, I don't know.
You ever seen that when
I just gotta take it.
when Mr. Krabs say, "Oh, let me play a sad song on the world's smallest violin,"
It's been a hard week.
and I'm gonna insert it now.
It's been a really hard week, guys. It's been difficult.
Why has it been hard?
I mean, we can talk about the hard week.
What's up with Italy?
Yeah, I know.
Like the nation.
Just wanted you to say it.
Actually, yeah, because I had a story that I wanted to bring up.
Why did I do that?
So
No, don't
we
make
brought
me
up Albania
Okay.
earlier and their recent success
Yeah.
in qualifiers.
Yeah.
There's a story that came out
Okay.
earlier this week.
Did you send it to me before the podcast?
No.
Why?
Huh?
Why did you not
I
send
just
it to me?
wanted to let you know. in live.
Ambush me on the
I
podcast.
love this. Apparently, the Albanian embassy and the Italian embassy recently met up to talk about relations between their countries. And it was revealed that there were some Italian tourists who went to a restaurant in Albania and spent about equivalent of like $80 and ran out on the bill. And so the representative from Albania mentioned to the Italian representatives that they should pay that money back to Albania. And so,
But Italy did. In
respectfully, Italy did pay the money.
Yeah.
But I think it's hilarious that given the times in the football world, Italy is so down bad that they're having to pay for their tourists who are running out on the bill.
Yo, even Barca fans
Dine and dash.
wouldn't do that. Bro. And we ain't got nothing.
Nothing, bro.
We ain't got a dime.
They still playing in that little parking lot.
That's
They doing
crazy.
well, though.
It's just a lot of shame coming to your country right now.
It's a lot. No. Let's not even the. It's a lot of shame coming to you. Let's keep this on you.
Specifically,
You know, AC Milan versus Inter Milan.
Are we not going to talk about Germany?
The Milan derby.
No?
Nah.
Okay, let's quickly talk about Germany. Germany are not doing so well. Hansi Flick, manager of the German national team, has been fired.
After like 9 months.
After 9 months.
German manager to ever be fired.
That's
fired.
a crazy stat.
Because they lost 4 out of 5 of their last matches.
Got cooked by Japan again.
To be fair, they're hosting next year's Euros, and so they're automatically qualified. So thank God for that for them. But
shape up.
yeah,
Y'all think they're going to do anything?
they
have the players.
Maybe.
But they've had the players since 2018. Didn't make it out of that group stage.
So they
Huh?
actually have a bench. Like
Yeah, but a tournament isn't as long as the season. I feel like depth's not important. They got to just figure out the system.
And just like Italy, they don't have a striker. Who is Germany's striker?
Balotelli could come back.
Balotelli
Timo
is
Werner.
not German.
Yo, Sab, go play for Italy, bro.
I could. At this point, I walk straight into that team.
Wow.
It's not even that's
Midfield
not,
3, you, Tonali, and who? Locatelli, Barella.
That's the like.
Yeah.
Oh, what about
One thing I'll say to you, go ahead.
I was about to say Chiellini, but I'm wilding. What's his
Wow.
name? He's on
Chiesa.
Juve.
Chiesa?
Chiesa.
Chiesa.
Yeah.
He's good,
Not
but he's
a
not a
forward?
striker, though.
disappeared after the Euros.
But he's a winger.
Disappeared?
I mean, yeah.
He's being played. No. He's being played now as a striker. And
Yeah,
it's
but he's
working.
nice.
It's working
He's
for him.
nice.
filthy.
He's nice.
He's
but
not a pure 9.
He's not a
though.
pure 9 at all.
But he's very good. He's very good.
I mean, there has not been an Italian soccer player striker to hit 10 goals for the national team in the past 20 years.
Damn.
Like I'm looking at this Italian national team, and then there was a photo comparing this Italian national team to like the 2006 or the 2010 team.
Oh, no.
Like not a single player on this squad
Would
gets
make
into
it.
that squad.
No.
At
Well-
all. There's no stars. Italy has no more stars.
Yeah.
And
Tonali's a star.
Tonali is not a sorry. Italy has no more world-class players.
Yeah.
There's no world
Tonali's not a world-class
No,
player?
no. Tonali
he's
is
not
a
there
good
yet.
player.
He's a very good player.
Barella
Really?
is perhaps a world-class player. Donnarumma is perhaps.
I heard he's getting comfortable now.
He can
though.
make his mistakes sometimes.
Yeah.
Donnarumma can make his mistakes. You have Barella, Donnarumma. Those are Italy's world-class players.
Barella's good, though.
Italy has 2 world-class players.
Yeah.
This is a nation that's won the World Cup 4 times, and there are 2 world-class players that you can make the case for.
Yeah.
I think tonight you can make a case for Tonali.
Nah, I think he needs more years.
Maybe not on paper, but as a player, I think.
Sure, but the fact that he's not like Brazil has 12, Germany has 6, France has 15,
I know.
Spain has 4 or 5 , maybe 8. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
Italy
yeah.
maybe has 2.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
That's
Listen, man.
unfortunate.
To close out the
You
discussion,
still suck.
You know what? You know what the problem is in Italy? Basketball. Basketball is the problem.
it's
in
taking
Italy.
over.
It's taking over.
You sound
Wow.
like a European.
You make an excuse.
It's not no. It's the problem for Italian soccer is basketball. Like when I go to Italy every summer, kids don't play soccer anymore.
Just because they're not,
Way
just not
more
promoting the
basketball.
young talent, and so the
Way
young talent
more- yeah, I
doesn't
know.
get played in Serie A.
Don't let him do this.
It's
He's
not-
very good at taking the pressure away from him. Italy sucks right now.
Hey, but that's the reason why.
We're gonna stay on it.
We're gonna blame this on basketball.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm saying
Why
that
are we letting this rock?
Oh,
No,
dude.
I just
like
think
it's like
talking
that's
about
how
a
I'm
country-
being. I'm
a
like
country
stay
with a
focused.
tradition.
super confused.
Stay
A country
focused.
Name
with a-
one
But I'm saying the
NBA
tradition-
player from Italy.
Nico Mannion,
Name one good
Current
Italian
one.
basketball team.
Bellinelli.
Current one.
He's
I
just
know
naming
Bellinelli.
stuff, and because I don't know who it
He's
is,
naming
I'm not.
This is like the love language shit, bro. Rigatoni.
Yeah, rigatoni.
Bellinelli.
Oh, macaroni. Yeah,
Yo, Italiano autorita, huh?
I didn't make a bad point. I didn't make a
Gallinari.
bad
I know
point.
Gallinari, Bellinelli,
Yo,
but that's the past.
Nico
bro.
Mannion.
Yo, one thing
the past,
I'll say, just because I
Nico's
know
a
this,
current player.
Yo, Spain's actually good at basketball, and that has nothing to do with Pedri and them.
just
Spanish soccer culture has remained like very, very vibrant. In Italy, people aren't playing soccer anymore.
They realize there's
Wait,
no
can we
hope.
post it as a clip, and can you target Italians? I want to see the
they're
opinion.
realize-
they're not
Okay.
going to disagree with
They
me.
realize there's no hope for their.
We didn't make the World Cup 2 times in a row.
Yeah, so you're hopeless.
So the country
people.
has turned away from soccer.
rightfully so.
Turning
That's my
away-
point. That's why
Turned
it's
away from soccer is hilarious.
Hopeless people, bro.
What about the clubs, though?
well, the clubs don't play young players.
No, that's what I was
not
saying
young
before.
Italians.
Yeah,
Again,
not young
no stars.
Italians.
You need a star.
There isn't one.
Every day.
Damn.
Mad generic niggas.
Your brother
Very generic.
My brother,
Yeah.
track.
He runs track.
Yeah.
Tracks why Italy's not good at soccer anymore. and stuff.
We have the
Oh,
fastest.
Salma Paruelo. She was a track star, and now she's
Yeah.
a World Cup winner.
Yeah.
Italy has the fastest man on earth.
Who's that?
I don't know his name, but he won. He won the Olympics. The 100.
Oh yeah, he
This
did.
is true.
Yeah, I thought it was.
Almost recent.
I thought it was Noah Lyles.
because Noah just won, but that's not the Olympics.
Was
It's
he
the World
black?
Champions of
He's
what?
black. Yes. He is mixed.
And USA got knocked out the FIBA World Cup, ironically, bro.
Oh my goodness. Yo, to close out the international discussion, just because also I noticed the Bayern, because we were talking about Germany. I noticed the Bayern thing. Yo, tap in with your boy. I'm coming to Germany. I am coming to Munich this weekend, man. Tap in with me. I'm gonna be at the Bochum. Bayern versus Bochum game at the Allianz Arena. If you see me, say what's up. And also, that Sunday, Oktoberfest, yo, hit me up. Let me know what's the customs. I don't drink alcohol. I don't know if they know that. But they still invited me. But let me know, how do I go around it and still have a good time? I'm really looking forward.
You got it.
To the whole.
I got it too.
Understood.
I'm looking forward to the whole outfits and everything. Y'all know me.
You
bro.
gonna wear
I like
lederhosen?
dressing- Huh?
You gonna wear lederhosen?
It's called a what?
A lederhosen.
Whose
That's the
hose is
real
it?
name, bro. The lederhosen. Google lederhosen. You gonna see Bayern. when they be
Hey,
in
first of all,
you know
bro,
what I'm saying?
I am not leading the hosen. I am not.
Lederhosen.
Listen, I am a married
Lederhosen.
man.
Look at the lederhosen. We're gonna show you.
I will not lead the
We're gonna put an
hosen.
image of a lederhosen.
Oh wait, that's it. Hold on.
Eli, you
What
gotta wear
images?
one, bro. Eli, you have
Yeah,
to
I wear one.
Yeah,
I wear the leader hosen, bro.
Come on, G.
I will wear the whole outfit.
Drink in you.
Oktoberfest. I'm going all
go.
out. I am going all out. Let's do it. Nah, not this. Stop, bro. Not this one.
Nah, that's
Who is this?
crazy.
That's Eli's fantasy.
That nigga a firefighter, bro.
Bro, okay.
That's a gigolo. What is that?
See, exactly.
Oh my
Yo,
goodness.
but also,
I hope he was
Oh,
paid for
man.
this. I hope he was paid.
Are y'all excited about AFCON? AFCON
Wait,
is
I have
coming
a
up.
conspiracy about Germany, though.
Alright, let's get it, let's get it.
Sebspiracy about Germany.
Yes.
Sebspiracy.
My take
Conspiracy.
about Germany and why Germany's national team has been so awful recently is that after that World Cup that Argentina was supposed to win in 2014, but Germany bought, ever since then, they've had to deal with the consequences of their actions during that game. Especially when they actually took the living soul out of Brazilian football and then did the same thing to Argentina the next game after. So the consequences for doing all that to football is that now they have 2 decades of just a shit national team. That's my take.
so this is the
That they
is this the
bought?
script writers? Is this the football gods?
Yes,
Who's this?
football gods.
The football gods.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Because you can't do that to Brazil and then expect
What? You can't do that to
Do you remember,
Brazil.
do you remember the man?
What do you
with
mean?
the
7-1 in
trophy?
Brazil was too horrific.
It was just carnage.
European conquest.
The
of
man
South
that used to
America.
come to the Brazil games with the trophy.
Yes.
He was there. Y'all made him cry.
Yeah.
That's such a sad
Oh,
photo.
shit.
You can't do that.
That's such a sad
You can't
photo.
do that with
Put
no
the photo
consequences.
right here. Put the
You
photo
can't
right
do that
here.
with no
Can't
consequences.
do that.
You can't.
Yeah, you have
And
to
he's
pay.
he's holding it like this. He holding the
Bro,
whole thing.
if there's
Might
any
have just did
Brazilians watching
something.
right now, me mentioning that game, they've just stopped watching the podcast.
Yeah. Just nightmares. 7-1, 7-1, 7-1, 7-1.
Wow.
Crazy.
Speaking of nightmares, speaking of darkness, speaking of dark people, are y'all excited for AFCON?
Please, can we keep this one in?
Yeah.
Every week he does it.
So T, he just asked if we're excited for the African Cup of Nations. That was his transition.
Speaking of darkness.
That's fucked up.
After his Planet of the Apes comment too. Jesus
They're
Christ.
dark people.
They don't know about that because we cut that out. So they don't know about that.
Nah, this isn't gonna be in that shit, bro. It's why we need Patreon.
I'm a dark person
Fuck
too.
it. I'm leaving everything.
Leave it all, bro. Leave it
Darkness.
all. This is real.
My goodness.
I'm a dark person
let me-
too.
Look,
Can we redo that?
No.
Are y'all excited about the African Cup of Nations,
I'm very
guys?
excited, bro.
I'm
very
excited.
Definitely.
Facts.
Definitely.
Facts.
The darkies is out.
I'm personally really excited for AFCON.
Mm-hmm. Deep Ace,
I'm excited to see what Morocco does. I think after, making some waves in the World Cup, putting themselves on the world stage, there's going to be a little added pressure for them to succeed. And I think given all the pieces that they have, they could do a lot of cool stuff. And then obviously Senegal, most recent title holders, always come with a packed squad. So
Definitely.
see what happens.
AFCON should be exciting. I'm very excited to see Senegal hopefully get back-to-back AFCON wins. I think they could do it. I still think they have the squad for it.
They're the
I'm
best
looking at Nicholas Jackson playing for Chelsea. I like him. I really like Nicholas
Wait, why?
Jackson.
What has he done?
What? Just because I
scored.
You know what?
He scored when?
He scored.
You know,
He's
not
a
Colombian?
filthy goal.
You know,
When?
Nicholas Jackson,
Like the
he's
second-
Senegalese.
Okay.
And you know,
It's the name.
this is why it's important for people to actually go and see live football matches.
Saw him.
Or just
There's no way we're hyping up Nick Jackson right now.
Nick, yes, I am. You know why? And this is to my point. This is why it's important to go see the matches in person.
Yeah.
Because I saw him for the first time. Where were we? Was it in
Atlanta.
Philly or
Atlanta.
Atlanta? It was in Atlanta, and he impressed me. And I just liked his energy on the pitch. And it was just preseason still.
Yeah.
It was a summer tour. So I feel like now,
Oh no.
if he's not playing so well right now, don't show the clips, bro.
Oh, yeah,
if he's not playing so well, it's okay.
Is this the same miss we already saw though?
Yes.
It's okay because I already.
He scored a nice goal, bro.
To be fair,
put his goal up.
that was a fair miss. I still stand by
that
that.
striker shit though.
I think it was a fair
one,
miss.
Then he banged in the winner for us. That happens.
He's gonna make you regret that.
We didn't even talk about AC Milan, so we shouldn't be allowed.
No. We just
we're
ending
getting-
international
we're
football right
getting-
now.
let's-
Trust me.
All right.
We about to light his ass up. Keep it up. I still like Nicholas Jackson. I can't wait to see what Senegal does in the Africa Cup of Nations. I'm looking forward to Morocco also. Ivory Coast is hosting it.
Yep.
Ghana, I think, could do some good things. Yeah. Cameroon.
I'm gonna say Nigeria.
Very much looking
Nigeria.
forward to
Nigeria,
the
you
AFCON.
have so much talent. You
Yes.
have Osimhen, you have Chukwueze. It's time for that talent to show up and provide the results for that country.
Yep.
It's time for Nigeria to
Nigerians
show up.
just listen to music. They don't do anything else.
Clip that. Clip that.
Wow.
Nigerians, wow.
Nigerians, I did not say that.
They do not play football. They just listen to. They shame Burna Boy and listen to Wizkid.
What is happening,
That's
bro?
it.
How do you call Napoli Neapolitans? Or that's
Yeah.
the ice creams?
No, that's how you say it in
People
English.
From Napoli. Yeah.
Neapolitans. Oh, they love them some Osimhen, bro. What?
Yeah.
Them people idolize the dude. Aside from the blackface and
Blackface?
stuff, like they love that guy, man.
They love him
It's
too.
Crazy.
Blackface people love him.
Oh,
In their own
D.
special way.
In their own special way.
In their own very special way, they love him as well.
That's what's so conflicting about it, because it's like you get the sense that they might really just not know
Yeah, I think
what they're
That's really
doing.
what it is.
And it's like
but it's
they
still wrong.
it's still wrong, but they genuinely like from looking
Speaking
at
of blackface,
speaking of blackface.
did y'all see what happened in Poland?
No.
Nah, put us on.
Yo, so Seb, you're gonna have to bring this up on TikTok. This is a quick little segue, but in Poland, they have some sort of performance show where you try to act like another artist.
Oh, I did
And
see
so they were being Kanye West, Kendrick Lamar, Drake, and they really painted themselves. And this is like a nationally televised performance. Yeah, look at this shit right here. We want to talk about European blackface. That's a white man right there.
Oh, that's yay.
Yo, niggas thought it really was
Oh.
Kanye. This is a white man, bro. Europe's crazy.
Oh,
They
if
did
you don't know
Kendrick
about
too.
now, I'm
They
talking
did
about
Kendrick, they did
Chi-Town.
Drake. You're gonna have to find it, bro.
Love again.
Yeah, but this is like a nationally televised, like big music
It's like the
contest
same thing
show.
they do
like,
for Christmas
it's like The
time
Voice
in the Netherlands.
insane.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Holy shit.
Oh, please. No. No. Is that Big Sean? Is that
The
the
Weeknd?
weekend?
Nah, it's Kendrick.
That's the weekday.
That's somebody. No, that's Kendrick, I
This is
guess.
Kendrick Lamar.
That's Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah.
That's not Kendrick Lamar.
Nah, that's
bro.
this Kendrick, bro. That's more like this Kendrick. What is that? Is that
Shorty trying to
Beyonce?
be Beyonce. These white people are. He nigga
Yo,
got the money,
that
bro.
is insane.
Nah,
Look at Drake.
nah.
Look at Drake.
Drake not even dark. That's the
I
crazy
know,
thing.
bro. They made Drake as dark as he wish he was. That's
Why
crazy.
Drake look like DJ Khaled?
Insane comment. That was an insane.
I can say it, I'm light skinned, bro. Come on.
They make Drake as light as he wants to be.
But I can't do my transitions.
Definitely not, bro.
Speaking of dark people,
In
speaking
darkness.
of wow.
Yo, Josh is gonna watch.
Are African people not dark? I'm dark too.
Can I talk about AFCON?
Speaking of darkness, it was a dark weekend for AC Milan.
Can I talk about AFCON?
Talk about AFCON. You're wearing, what is that, Algeria?
Yeah. Nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Desert Foxes.
Yeah. I got one.
Nice.
It's nice.
No, I just wanted to talk about
said I got
the
one.
perspective of what it takes to go to AFCON.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of European players don't necessarily want to go and play in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is something that isn't really thought about by the rest of football because, you know, when the Euros come around, they're hosted in France or Italy or Spain or Belgium,
Yeah.
you know. Or when, you know, the Copa America is hosted, it's in Argentina or Brazil or, you know, Colombia. And so there's kind of just like a culture that is already understood. When it comes to Africa, a lot of players have never been back to the continent. And if they have, it's in a very, very curated and very, very selective way. So when a player like, let me choose a name very carefully. So when a player who was born in Europe but has chosen to represent an African nation goes back to Africa and then has to stay in a hotel, you know, in a random city in Ivory Coast or in a random city in Cameroon, that's a very, very different experience. And that's the choice that a lot of people then have to make, because every time you go home, the facilities get worse than what you're used to. That's just how it is. The hotels get a little bit worse. The buses get a little bit worse. And I'm not sure that fans actually realize like that there is a mental and psychological aspect to what it looks like playing on the continent that is very, very different from playing in Europe. Very, very different. And I don't know if y'all have anything to add to that, but that is just something that like I always think about, because, you know, I go home to Cameroon as much as I can, and it's a culture shock every time, just because like you're just not used to that style of life.
I think it's probably humbling to be able to be in those small little villages and
Depends on who you are.
drive through those sort of.
I think it's also
Depends on who you are.
I would say
I feel like maybe on average, this is a positive stereotype. African players to me seemed to be on average a bit more humble than some other continents.
But also one thing I'll say is that
personalities.
although I haven't been to Africa at all yet, so you could attest to this maybe a little bit more. But I think one perspective that I've seen a lot is that how we see a lot of African countries isn't necessarily like the reality in all of them. Like there are countries who are much wealthier than others.
Of course.
And Ivory Coast seemingly
very
being one of the wealthier ones.
Top 6.
So I think
in Africa.
that's a good place to start.
No,
to
of
have
course.
a better
It's
still
experience
different,
for
though.
it.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's different for
Because
sure.
I was in Morocco, I'm like, bro, it's just another
But-
planet. Like, it's just different.
Yeah, but I think that I would give them the benefit of the doubt that they're still able. I think they're still able to organize a well thought out, well
that's
planned,
not all I'm saying.
you know,
Yes, of course.
tournament, and still. And I think that again, I doubt that you're like the only person who's thinking of this perspective. The organizer of the tournament are probably thinking also, how do we make the environment, you know, as enjoyable for the players too? So that again, more than they go back to their teammates, they go back to their clubs and they're able to say good things, and the federations are able to have more leverage for the next one to be like, hey, these players had a positive experience all throughout, and now that motivates the players to want to come back, or, you know, for the younger ones to want to play for their countries.
We should
also,
go.
I would love to go.
We should go. We
Yeah.
should figure that out.
This AFCON?
Yes.
When does it start?
Ask Sam.
January.
Yeah.
We should try and
That's
figure
Sam.
that out.
Ask Sam.
I'd want to go for for at least like a week or something.
Yeah.
You know, interesting.
We can make it happen.
Speaking of, I know y'all want to kill me for AC Milan. I know.
Yeah.
But speaking of controversial things and, you know, things that could get the internet going, I sent you guys a picture because I saw a tweet earlier this week about 2 different fantasy sides, right? I sent you guys a photo of Africa's all-time 11, or Africa's best 11 currently, and South America's best 11 currently. I saw this tweet, so it's not necessarily correct, but it could be correct, right? So there was the photo of Africa's current best 11 if you were to create a squad, and South America's current best 11 if you were to create a squad. Who do you guys think would win?
I'm seeing South America's only right now. Where's
Only South America's? I think they're both there, so maybe
They are both there.
Can you resend it?
You'll tag me in it.
I'll resend it.
It has to be this lineup.
It doesn't have to be. Just discuss.
Yeah, I think South America got it. I think there's just too much firepower, bro. Vinny, Neymar, Messi, Rodrigo.
Now, I want to make it clear.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about what team is better. Who would win?
Who would
If they played against each
win?
other?
Osimhen, Mane, Salah, Amrabat.
I think the
Lisa,
midfield difference is
Partey.
the biggest problem for Africa.
Absolutely.
And the center back pairing is not the best.
Yeah,
Ocean
I'm
still-
going with-
Bali.
Yeah, South America's winning.
Yeah, I definitely got
Unfortunately.
South America.
The defense in South America is solid.
Yeah, for sure. You
Onana-
probably move some players around.
Onana in goal, although in this he's rated 88 and Emi Martinez is 90, I think he's a better. Onana's
a better goalie.
Onana's a better keeper than
He is,
Martinez for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, Koulibaly, Mbemba at the back.
Like Africa could.
I don't know.
They could win, but they don't have the talent, I don't think.
But
no, I disagree.
It would be a hard win. It would be a good match.
It would be.
This should be a thing.
It'd be interesting if you added the benches too.
Like a
All-Stars?
like a continent all-star football tournament.
That would be insane.
Fire.
Fire.
That would be
Yeah, bro.
insane.
A continent.
You had to add Asia, North America. Yeah, that'd be fun.
Nah, I don't think
Europe would be just that.
it's not an easy win
I
for
don't
South
think Europe
America.
wins.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
don't-
But I
it's
just
not
think it's too
easy.
much.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think Europe wins a continent all-star game.
Against who? Any of them?
If you
Can you
put
say that-
the
can you say that
continent,
again?
if you put the continents of Africa, Asia, Europe, South America, and North America into a tournament, and you take the best footballers from the continent and create a team,
Yeah.
I don't think Europe wins.
Oh, you're just saying you don't think they're the best
Nah.
continent.
No, I do. I think talent-wise, they're the best. I think
But you
create
think they
a
just
team.
don't win.
No, not enough unity.
Is it because like most Europeans, whether like if you pick some from each league in Europe,
Yeah.
because the style in each
Yeah.
league is
Yeah.
so different,
Yeah.
there will be no
There'd be too much
chemistry.
drama,
There's
bro.
there's
There'd
no
be
continuity
way
to
too much
within
drama.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Way too much drama
But-
because like there's so much talent and there's so much like tension in Europe over like who has the best players.
Are we talking about where they're born?
Yeah, if they represent Europe.
I say
okay.
all the best African players also, for the most part, play in Europe. Maybe a couple in Saudi, and they're also on different leagues.
But I don't
so
think I don't think there'd be as much drama. I think like
AFCON's dramatic.
yeah, but I don't think there's anywhere near as much like unclearness about who the best Africans are compared to who the best Europeans
If
are.
all the continent played like that, like best of each continent, I think it would come down to the original, like South America or
And Europe.
Africa. Yeah,
I think
I agree that I don't
South
think
America, Africa.
I don't think so.
You about to say the originals?
No, the original because that was the original
Yeah.
conversation was South America versus Africa.
That's
It'd come
the
down
final?
to them too.
Yeah,
I think
Europe,
it'll
Europe
come
the
down
final.
to
The final.
It'll come down to the original humans.
The
So Africa. Okay, there you go. There you go. That's
I
a good
think
one. I
Europe
got
will figure it
scared.
out.
You think
That's
Asia?
interesting,
You think Asia beats Europe?
Asia's good right now.
Maybe.
Yeah, they could.
Yo, Japan
I mean,
is
if
really
Europe-
cooking right now.
If to be honest, if
Japan is really cooking.
if Europe consists of Germans and Italians, then yeah, they're losing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Japan is cooking right now.
You hear about the Asian footballer who has his own like soccer blog?
Yeah,
That he, like,
yeah.
keeps up
Yeah.
With, I think he just signed
Japanese
to
player for Liverpool.
no?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Didn't he also write a book about dribbling?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like
That's
that.
crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna read that because I
Facts.
really appreciate it when players give insight like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
That's nuts.
Absolutely.
Speaking of insight,
Yeah. Speaking of insight,
We need some insight.
we need some insight from you as an AC Milan fan.
Dodged
We're gonna
it.
make sure
You
that
dodged it for an
we
hour, bro.
emphasize this.
literally.
We need some insight.
Yeah,
You know, just because I know we're not going to talk about it a lot, but
Yep.
you know, my team won 5-0.
it's good.
Some teams score 5, some concede 5.
My
Yours
team
did.
won their 5th game in a row, 5-4-5.
Yeah.
So
What do you have
So,
to say?
so how does it?
You have it.
13th or 14th? What
It's
did
not
I say?
about me.
It's not about you. You're right.
I want to make sure.
The vibe check is hilarious.
Milan derby. Inter Milan defeats AC Milan
Yeah.
5-1. How does that feel?
Shit, horrible,
Yeah.
awful.
And you made us all watch it.
What went
We were
wrong?
like excited for you.
I got my friends together to watch.
Oh, nah.
We had brunch.
Was
I
it a
was
good
eating
game?
pancakes. And, yeah, it was exciting.
It was a good game.
What went wrong with AC Milan? Why did they lose so
That
terribly?
always goes wrong. Outcoached every time.
Yeah.
Outcoached every time.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, it's not too hard to explain. I mean, any self-respecting football fan can understand that. Like when you play against a team that does not play with a what's it called?
Self-respecting is crazy.
Self-respecting is the
If
right
you
word.
respect yourself, you gonna know this.
Inter plays.
my favorite
Inter
person.
plays
I think it's crazy.
with.
If you don't have low self-esteem as a football fan, you're gonna understand this right here, you
Facts.
dummy.
Facts.
Like,
Facts.
stupid. Like what?
I'm talking to our coach
Yes.
directly. No, Inter doesn't play with a deep line. They play. Sorry, Inter doesn't play with a high line. They play with a deep defense. Their defense sits back. We spent the whole game trying to have Leao run in behind a defense that is sitting on the box.
It's true.
There's no space to run in behind.
It's true.
So, and then Calabria, who's our right back, was playing CDM, which makes no sense because we have decent midfielders. Loftus-Cheek should have had the ball way more. And honestly, that was not a game for Pulisic to play in because
Bro, he did not exist.
it wasn't a game for him to play in because if you're a good manager, you know that Pulisic is not going to show up in that game. Not because he's a shit player, but because it's just too much for him. Like mentally,
He just got there.
He's not a he's not a plug and play player yet. So you let Chukwueze do something. Like you start him if you have the courage to do it. Our manager, unfortunately, is a bit orthodox. He's not a bad manager, and I'm not shitting on him at all. I just think that he gets out coached when it comes to playing against Inter because he doesn't have the experience to make the right decisions in those moments. I'm not too upset though because we're still doing well in the league. Our team is good, and it's better that this happened in September than it happens in December. Because if this shit happens in December, you're like, oh fuck, like there's actual problems that we didn't know happened.
Yeah,
but it happens in September. It's not a bad thing.
You got to address it now, though.
Which we will.
You got to address it now.
We play Newcastle Wednesday.
How did you feel when bro took his shirt off after the 5th goal?
I felt he was rather ugly, is what I thought.
I thought it was insanely disrespectful that it was the 5th goal.
Yeah,
the game has been over.
Yeah.
you're supposed to do that though.
Ripped his
I love
shirt
it.
off.
That's rivalry shit, dude.
I love it.
He's a really ugly
I
dude.
was like, damn.
He's not good looking.
That was like, that hurt me.
That Azuri, man.
You're supposed to do that.
That's tough.
Turam's goal was fucking insane.
That was
Yeah,
crazy.
nuts.
Cutting off the left.
Nuts.
I was like, all right, we're losing.
Yeah.
We're not going to win this
Nah,
game.
Damn,
Jesus
stunting like his daddy. Marcus Thuram.
We talked about this earlier. Real quick, who are y'all favorite brothers in football?
Yeah.
The Thuram brothers have been making some noise.
That's what I was
lately.
saying, Marcus and Kefren.
Yeah.
So
Who y'all favorite brothers? That could be 2 brothers, 3 brothers.
I'll add in the Bellinghams, of course. Jude and Job.
Yeah.
Jude and Job,
Does
for
it have
sure.
to be
you?
black people?
Huh?
Brothers?
Yes.
Not brothers.
Oh.
Brothers.
Brothers,
Only
brothers,
named,
siblings.
only named black people.
Just brothers,
Siblings.
bro. Brothers.
Well, we love black people.
We do. Sorry if that's controversial.
I love
by the
all
way.
people.
Me too. Y'all saw my jacket. Go ahead.
I love black people.
My
but
favorite brother duo would have to be the Ayu brothers, just because of the comedy that they bring to the Ghanaian national.
Very funny niggas, bro. Definitely.
So much drama, so much beef with them being pulled off early.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chaos.
they do a lot for Footy Twitter.
Yes.
They do a lot for football.
Boateng brothers were pretty legendary.
Boateng brothers.
Very
were legendary.
interesting, like dichotomy between the two of them. Different national teams too.
Yep.
Pogba brothers.
I like
Nico and Iñaki.
That's what I was
They're
going
solid.
to say. I like the Williams brothers.
Nico's really good, bro. Nico's really good.
What?
What?
Nothing.
No. If anything, I'll say with my chest,
What are
bro.
you gonna say with
The
your
Pogba
chest?
brothers before the controversy.
Got you.
Before the controversy, the Pogba brothers were a thing, bro. And this is what low-key,
I know.
it hurt me a little bit that there's
should hurt you.
beef between them, because before that, it was such a nice thing to see. Like, their brothers, they're all professional footballers. Obviously, one of them achieved the level that the other ones didn't, but it always seemed like they were happy for each other. They were happy, to always be with each other. They would always be dancing. Like, it was a thing. Like, Paul was still at the height of his stardom. This was like every week, this was dabbing Paul Pogba. Every
dabbing
week he got a different haircut. Like, this was a time, and it was such a happy time. And this is how you want to see, siblings interact with each other, especially in the public eye. But then now to see that they got beef is like, it's kind of sad. But it was a nice moment with the Pogba brothers on the Pogba brothers. The Pogba brothers.
For sure. But
I'm wildin'.
speaking of nice moments,
Yes.
Luis Rubiales has finally resigned from the Spanish Footballing Federation. So let's clap it up.
Yes.
Wave him. Adios.
AKA
Arrivederci.
kicked
Goodbye.
Yes.
Au revoir. Oh, no, not au revoir. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
You know what I'm saying? So he got up out of there after all this protesting, after the players saying that they would not return. So just once again, we talked about the solidarity in the women's game when the players come together for change. That's exactly what happened. The coach is also out as well. And on top of that, speaking of our Spanish women, Liga FA, which was on strike to raise their minimum wage, they were going to potentially be on strike if they did not get their minimum wage raised. And it went up from 16,000 euros to 21,000. So they were able to get their bargaining agreement that Kendrick had mentioned. And so they called off the strike because they got what they wanted. So once again, just simply put, power to the players, because they really do create the change. You are the product on the field. If you're not there, there is no product, there is no business. You control what happens. So props to them.
Absolutely.
I also want to give a special shout out to Nigerian defender Ashley Plumtree. She just signed to Al Ittihad. I think that's how you say it. In the Saudi Arabia Women's Premier League. There's been an insane amount of investment in the women's league in Saudi Arabia, starting like not even this year, like starting from last year. I want to make sure I get the number right.
Mm-hmm.
The Saudi Arabia Football Federation allocated 49.9 million Saudi riyals, equivalent to $13 million, to women's football programs throughout the country. And so, I think Saudi Arabia has a reputation for not being the friendliest place for women or being a more restrictive place for women. But it's been good to see that they're actually taking steps to invest in women's sports. More steps than a lot of Western countries have been taking, quite frankly.
Yes.
So, yeah, shout out to Ashley. Shout out to everything that's going on in the
women's
footy space over there.
Yeah, and shout out another Nigerian women's player. Shout out Michelle Alozie. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. But she had just returned back to Houston, where she's back doing cancer research. So it's something that she does at the same time of being a top-level, World Cup-level professional athlete.
Fire.
And I'm somebody else who's also done biomedical research for things about, going on with the gut bacteria or bone disease and things of that nature. So I definitely identify with her for that. So I just got to shout her out for being able to do something that complicated while being a top world-class athlete, because that's incredible. So,
do you think that if it wasn't, I don't know the details of her contract or anything like that or how much she makes for in Houston, but do you think that she would still be doing this on the side if women's footballers were compensated properly?
Probably not.
Probably not,
bro.
Because she probably wouldn't have the time to.
Yeah.
The players get paid so
time,
much, they have more media availability is my understanding too. And they're promoted more as an overall brand, so probably not. Probably wouldn't have the time, because you're really dedicating time to be able to do stuff like that. So, but regardless.
Speaking of Saudi, I have a quick question.
Let's get it.
Would y'all want to see a Saudi? Don't look at me like
didn't do anything.
Didn't do a damn thing.
Your face just
He's
be
just waiting for you to snap.
Yeah, I'm like, yo. Would y'all want to see a Saudi All-Star game versus MLS All-Stars?
Of course.
Bro,
let's make it happen. Saudi's going to cook us 11-0 though.
No. Any
Ronaldo,
chance?
Neymar and them?
I don't
Neymar
think
and
so.
Ronaldo together?
Low key. First of all, any chance to see Ronaldo and Messi play,
but Messi
I'm going to take
now.
that.
Oh, that's true. We got Messi.
That's what I'm saying.
Any chance to see Ronaldo and Messi play.
Messi's scoring a free kick. Yeah.
Any excuse. But
It's over.
nah, don't say that Saudi will cook them, bro. I don't think so.
Where is it?
I don't
the
think
game
so.
happen?
Where is it
That was gonna
happening?
be my next question.
Next
Bro,
All-Star
does it matter?
in
Put that in Seoul, Zimbabwe, Baltimore. Saudi's winning.
Baltimore is insane.
Why is that insane, bro? They have the Ravens. Play in the Ravens Stadium. Play anywhere in the world.
I don't
Saudi's
think so.
winning. I think so.
I don't think so.
Shout out MLS, though.
But MLS got some ballers, and I think that, bro.
I
have
love
you
MLS.
seen- MLS
Me too.
MLS highlight.
No, you do.
Listen,
It's in Columbus, Ohio.
yes.
Yo, you act like Neymar's
Yeah, get it right.
I'm in Columbus. I can't
Listen,
play
bro,
it.
all
Neymar's
I'm saying
going
is-
crazy.
Y'all ever watch MLS highlights? MLS highlights are equivalent to like watching Giroud's career highlight goals.
Oh, that's
like
facts.
every
That's a good
one of them
the
is
best
like
goals in the world.
is a beauty,
Crazy.
bro. Right? You look at Giroud's highlights, masterful.
Yeah.
You would be like, this is the greatest.
I'll say it
footballer
right now.
ever.
MLS. I'll say it right now. MLS scores the best goals in the world.
Bro,
Yes.
if you told
Go
a
to their
football
IG
fan-
page right now.
No, facts. If you told a football fan, like, based off this highlight reel, what is the best league in the world?
It's MLS.
And they didn't know football, they'd be like, oh, the MLS.
Go to
By
the
far.
IG
Yes.
right now.
By far.
Yes.
Every
You're-
goal is insane. It's
Bangers.
nuts.
No, like crazy.
But are the keepers shit? Is that the issue?
No, because it's just like Rockets top bins. It doesn't matter, bro.
Yeah.
Loki
Now,
is
sometimes
that.
the keeper,
Like measuring players.
But a lot of them are like straight into the top corner.
yeah, it's crazy. It's actually nuts. It's not normal.
Some very good goals.
If you like long range goals, MLS is the league for you. I promise you that. Promise you
Yeah.
that.
team goals.
Dude, that Campana goal where he just flicked it over the guy and then
Hard.
thought, what?
Hard.
What?
I think that would be arguably the biggest revenue generating sporting event in history.
Bro, you imagine the
If we
activation
brought
around
the
it.
Saudi
OD.
league to the MLS in a
OD.
major city.
Bro, but then you need to market it like boxing. They have to be talking shit.
yeah,
for
no.
course.
It's gonna
You know-
be like, the final Messi Ronaldo
Yeah,
showdown.
Just because I also think that MLS reps could probably watch this. Listen, one way that y'all can actually make this happen is if you make it MLS All-Star weekend instead of MLS All-Star week. Please. If you make it during the weekend, it's already hard enough that it's in Ohio, first of all. Shout out to Ohio. What is it? Is it Ohio?
So let me pronounce that.
Shout out to Ohio. I'm Haitian, bro. But
Cool whip.
Cool whip. I know you watch Family Guy. But, bro, it's hard enough that it's in Columbus. Bro, make it MLS All-Star Weekend, and you might actually have a movie. Like
And
that, I'm dropping everything.
And what'll really make it a movie is MLS Weekend, Saudi versus MLS, hosted by 5ASIDE Podcast.
Yo, we're hosting everything. We're hosting every activation. We're hosting every party. We're going to Miami.
I'm trying to tell y'all.
The party and live is over.
I'm trying to tell y'all.
And it needs to be in Miami because Messi said so.
Videographed by Lolo's Lens. Come on. If you know, you know. I'm trying to tell you.
You do a 3-part, like you do a best of 3.
Best of 3.
One in Riyadh, one in Miami,
This travel's good.
and then one at Wembley.
One in Wembley. They don't deserve that.
Wembley is crazy.
But
They don't deserve that.
No British fans are allowed to go.
yeah,
No British fans are allowed to go.
That's an insane travel schedule, bro.
No, you know what? Imagine
I'd do it.
MLS.
We need Josh, bro.
Bro.
Oh my God.
MLS All-Stars versus Saudi Pro League All-Star
In Wembley?
in Wembley.
Versus Premier League All-Star.
Oh my God.
Three-way game.
A 3-way football
And the goals
game.
count for 7.
Imagine.
We're American. Fuck out of here.
A 3-way football game.
Yo,
Bro.
there's 3 goals.
Bro, it's 3 goals.
Yo,
It's 3 goals. And it has NFL yardage on the pitch with a football goalpost. Oh, snap.
Nah, definitely, bro. They're wearing helmets.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Make it
bro.
happen right now.
Oh my
Please.
God.
Please.
Nah, they gotta have music during it.
And the refs?
Nah, they gotta have music during it like it's
Bro,
the NBA.
yes.
too. Definitely,
The refs
bro.
are umpires.
Halftime performance.
The refs are umpires,
The
bro.
refs are definitely umpires,
That should not
bro.
have been that funny.
Bro, goals are 7 points. Like
What?
the NFL
That
have
should not
to.
have been that funny.
Yes.
That's so.
Bro, there was a British
Crazy.
person right now who
Yo.
literally threw his computer at his fucking...
Yo, I love trolling y'all little Brits, man. Y'all niggas is
so
funny
funny.
as
Oh,
fuck.
man. Wow.
Oh my God.
Wow.
No shit about ball.
Nah,
no
but
fucking shit.
Speaking of All-Stars,
Speaking of All-Stars.
quick question for you guys.
Demon Mom.
If you had to pick 5 attributes to create the perfect, ideal footballer, what attributes would you pick?
Like one from
5 attributes, or I think the question was if you had to pick one attribute from 5 different footballers to make the perfect
That's too
footballer.
complicated. If you have 5 attributes,
What do you mean?
But you're just gonna say
But the
perfect
fact that-
everything.
Yeah, you just gonna say this thing, that thing, that thing. But it has to come from, it'll be like, yo,
Nah, I don't-
Messi's left foot. Or like, you know what I'm saying? Sergio Ramos' heading ability.
all right.
Something
That's
like
fair.
that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I've seen people like build the perfect player and they have like pieces of each person.
Yeah. So if you could build the perfect player out of 5 different players, like what would you pick?
So, okay. So I would take Van Dijk's heading.
Pause.
Next.
No, we're going to be silent. We're going to let this...
Did you feel good about that? Did you feel good about that?
I saw a pod where every time someone has to do a pause, like you say something crazy, you have to like wear actual pause. That's cool. That shit was funny.
Wow.
That's fire. I'd do that. I'll bring some pause.
It stops people from just saying things that get paused. Go ahead.
Okay, so you'll take Van Dijk head. Go ahead.
All right. All right.
What is this podcast turning into?
What is it? That's why we need Josh, bro. Jesus Christ.
Go on, it's okay.
So I
Go
would
on,
take
that's-
Virgil van Dijk's heading
Ability.
Me too.
ability. I would take
Yeah.
Messi's...
Yeah.
I would take Messi's left foot, Ronaldo's right foot,
That's 3.
Seedorf's strength, and Modric's intelligence.
Okay.
That's quite the play.
I would take I would take.
What would you take?
I would take Iniesta's IQ. I'd take Yaya Touré's athleticism.
You take Yaya Touré's what?
Athleticism is like.
I would take Yaya Touré's athleticism. I'm standing by that.
Is athleticism though?
Is athleticism? Yes.
Questionable.
Yes. I would take Mbappe's pace. Neymar's dribbling.
Everything is nuts right now.
Neymar's dribbling and Juninho's free kick taking abilities. That's a monster player. I'm standing by that.
You take it.
All right.
I'd take it.
I will choose Sergio Ramos's header ability.
I bet.
Mbappe's pace.
How fast Mbappe go, bro?
Can we make this a proper clip? Like, can we use this?
No.
All right, so fuck it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes, we can.
Sorry, go ahead. We can go ahead.
All right, I want.
Good.
I can't
Good.
say I want now.
Good.
I would like this player to have Messi's left foot, Ronaldo's right foot, the heading ability of Sergio Ramos, Mbappe's pace, and the brain of Iniesta.
You get brains from Iniesta.
Nah, but you can cut it right there, though. You can cut it right
Wow.
This is crazy.
Nah,
Wow,
I
you
realize
get brains from Iniesta is crazy, bro. Wow.
Brilliant
I would
mind.
pick
Brilliant mind.
that.
Oh.
That definitely.
Yeah.
I would pick Ronaldinho.
You think his creative?
This is the gayest soccer podcast ever.
Yeah, what the fuck, bro? I can't even do this question.
Go ahead. You got it. You got it.
What would you
I would-
take from
I would
Ronaldinho?
select-
Got it. His gums.
Ronaldinho's. I would select Ronaldinho's first touch.
You get touched by Ronaldinho?
If I was
Cut the whole thing.
if I was to build the perfect footballer,
Okay.
I would use.
What are you using, bro?
Fuck it.
Go ahead. You got it. Yeah. What's this?
This is a fantastic.
Can we just cut this segment?
No, we're keeping it.
Go ahead.
Can't.
All right. I would use Ronaldinho's first touch,
Mm-hmm.
ZX vision, KDB's accuracy, Jules Koundé's drip, and Messi's humility.
That player's ass. Nigga mad slow too. They can't run at all.
That player's ass.
Yo.
But he's fly though.
Yeah, no. You got Koundé's
He's on
drip.
GQ France though. He's on the Vogue and shit.
That's a big part of what makes it an ideal footballer.
Facts. I agree.
I thought we were talking on the pitch, but
Did y'all see Sung Hyun Min and Saka at the Burberry show?
Yep.
And Eze as well.
Yep.
Love that. London Fashion Week.
Step it up, Burberry.
Iffy.
I'm just saying.
Eberechi.
Eze's fit was it?
It
Why?
was a little iffy.
The red joint?
It's like two different red patterns.
You know, it's stylish.
It was still cool, but it was like,
Yeah.
Okay. On a more serious note, though, we do have to discuss Paul Pogba and what's going on with him and his life. You know, this is a footy podcast, but unfortunately for us, you know, I think I can speak for all of us when I say that Pogba, we're all fans of his. We're all supporters of his.
We met him in LA too.
Facts. Yeah. And even I know Josh isn't here to say this, and I don't know if this is. I want to phrase this correctly because I have the utmost respect for him as a person, and so I don't want to put his business out there. However, and I don't think this is necessarily putting his business out there, but when we saw him in LA, and Josh and I spoke about this, but like, just even speaking to him, like, you know, he's in preseason, he's in LA, he's with the team and stuff. I mean, the life that generally you would think you would see in Paul Pogba's eyes, because Paul Pogba, you know, we imagine him as this energetic, full of life character who's just, you know, always dancing, happy. That's my understanding of Pogba as a football fan. But when we saw him in LA, I mean, just like you could see, like sometimes you can just see in another man's eyes, like behind what is going on, and just like you could tell that something was not right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I feel for him because what is most likely is that he ate a supplement without knowing what was in it, ended up ingesting some sort of drug that is on the list of drugs that are banned in the Serie A and in football. And now he faces some very, very serious stuff because He took a doping test after his most recent game with Juventus, and he was found in his system to have substances that are banned, heightened levels of testosterone, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
But that's very serious because the same thing happened to Onana, and he was out for a year. No questions asked. They said, you're not playing for the year.
Yeah.
And it looks like Pogba might be facing 4 years.
Yeah.
4 is
4
crazy.
years is crazy.
At his age, too. His career is done.
That's the max sentence.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I want to say, I'll say this directly to the camera because hopefully with the reach that we have, maybe he can see this, maybe he can't. But as a football fan who understands that certain players have done things for the game that just cannot be downplayed, Pogba is one of those players. He's for sure one of those players. People can say whatever they want, overrated, underrated. Talent-wise and effect-wise on football, what Pogba has given to football is crucial to the history of the game in the 2000s. It's crucial. And so I just, out of respect for what he has given to the sport that I love, I am completely with him and on his side, and just want to express that I, would like to support in any way that I can. I am nobody in this space, but it's important for people to hear that they're not alone. And if this video can reach him in some way or another, I know there's thousands of fans, millions of fans that feel the same way as me and that are grateful to him for what he has given to the game. So yeah,
One thing that I'll say is that I'm surprised that I didn't see people casting more judgment on him on the internet. I feel like
it was tame.
I feel like I expected as soon as the news came out that people would have been like, "Oh, this is expected. Oh, this is typical, whatever." And I didn't see that, which I was pleasantly surprised at. But I think that when I saw it, immediately I just thought to myself that, whether it's on purpose or not, it was just immediately like, damn, like this is so unfortunate because he's been battling injuries for so long. He was battling just a bad situation at United. And then now, like, there's been so much turmoil with his career within the past few years. And we saw a quick ascension. We saw him become a World Cup winner. And we saw the energy in him. We saw the flair. We saw the haircuts. We saw just a personality that was just bigger than just a footballer. Like a lot of football fans fell in love with the personality and the character that Paul Pogba is. And he made that easy because of how dope he was on the pitch also. So now when you see him struggling, and then now the failing a doping test, you can't help but feel bad for him. Obviously, I think it's always important, no matter what, no matter how we feel about players, not that in this situation we don't know what the full scope of, who's at fault or what the intentions were behind whatever he did ingest. But we know that wrong is wrong, right is right. And unfortunately, it's him that's, in the wrong at the end of the day in this situation. As a man, whether or not you meant to do something or not, the unfortunate pill to swallow is that, if you do test positive for something that's forbidden, you gotta eat that humble pie and you gotta suffer the consequences, which is unfortunate. I would like to always give them the benefit of the doubt no matter what. But yeah, it's just a really unfortunate
play that game.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation. And for me, like when I heard it, automatically I just thought to myself, he might have played and his performance was just too good based on how much time he's sat out for, and that they just thought this is too good to be true. Let's test him, because a lot of times they do that. Like most recently, even in basketball, they did it to Donovan Mitchell. Yep. So it's like the fact that it just happened the way it did is. I hope that he doesn't get the maximum penalty for it. Obviously, it's always going to be a lesson of, do the crime, do the time. But I don't think that the maximum 4 years is fair. And I hope that that's not what gets put on him. And yeah, man, we can only hope that also players learn from this and just try their best to be careful of who's around you, who's taking care of your diet, who's taking care of the things that you're putting into your body, and that athletes start to educate themselves as much as possible, because sometimes you might end up in a situation like this and it's not even your fault for something that's completely accidental. So yeah, man, I'm definitely keeping positive thoughts for Paul, and I hope that this situation, the best possible outcome out of this unfortunate situation, can come out of it so that he could be back on the pitch playing a game that he loves again very, very soon. Because yeah, that's what I think most of us would want.
I was gonna excuse me. I was going to ask, is it a global ban that up to 4 years? Is it Italy? Is it UEFA? Because could he like go Saudi? Could he go MLS? Like, how does that work?
I'll look it up right now.
Because I think that's a very interesting point there.
I just want.
He did say, he admitted, they're saying that, or ESPN UK is saying that Paul Pogba admitted to Juventus that he took some nutritional supplements not knowing they contain testosterone.
Yeah.
That led to his positive drug test and provisional 4-year ban. So he is claiming that he did not know that the supplements had the substances that were banned.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you were gonna say.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, kind of to Seb's point, speaking on like how Pogba was appearing at the time when we saw him.
Mm-hmm.
He said in an interview recently, sometimes I'm just by myself thinking, I don't want to have money anymore. I just don't want to play anymore. I just want to be with normal people so they will love me for me, not for the fame, not for the money. Sometimes it's tough. And so, you know, just speaking on this whole conversation, it's important to remember that this is a human being. This is his job. This is something that has ups and downs like any occupation.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like the coolest thing. Like people always, one thing I always see on like football, social media is people will be like, yo, especially like in the Sancho situation and stuff like that, when you see drama or things going wrong, people are like, yo, this dude's making millions of dollars. Like, he just needs to shut up and follow the rules. Like, it's that simple. You're in this situation. And sometimes from our perspective, it could seem like this person's living the most glamorous life. Everything's perfect. What could they complain about?
Yeah.
But there's so much more beyond just money that goes on in one's life. So it's important to remember that.
Yeah, and I mean even outside of just soccer, but other sports, other sorts of celebrities, we've seen tons of people with all the money and all the fame in the world be deeply unhappy. So it's facts that you simply can't buy happiness. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. But yeah, man, definitely keeping positive energy to Paul Pogba. But on a lighter note, as we are approaching the end of the podcast, of course, we care about 5ASIDE fans. We care about your questions. We care about your thoughts. We care about your comments and anything that you have to say to us. So we take the time to share with our fans, with our audience, the questions that you guys have, starting with.
So we have a question this week from Jose.bk4.
Shout out Jose.
Jose, what up, Jose?
Quick question. Who are your UCL favorites to win it this year?
Man City again.
Man City. I'm gonna go
And Fiscal Barcelona, come on, Barca, we're back. 5-0 versus Betis. Ayo, man, shout out Rafinha, shout out to João Cancelo, shout out to João Feliz, shout out Lewandowski, man. Listen, shout out to Ferran Torres. Barcelona are back. We taking the Champions League this year. We getting a treble. We're back, man. Xavi Ball is working. Trust the process. I've been said Barcelona are back. Stop playing with me. Your team lost 5-1. You suck. Your team don't got a striker.
We won every game. Relax.
We do.
Barcelona.
That wasn't the proper insult. We do have.
You're not getting out of
They
the group.
suck.
You're not getting out of the group.
Stop it.
You're not getting out of the
Stop
group.
it. You're going to lose to Newcastle.
Probably.
Barcelona are back. Let's get it, bro. Stop playing with me.
Anyway, Jose.
Yeah.
I'm thinking probably this year. I don't know. I could see Bayern going all the way this year. I could.
I'm gonna reiterate that.
Oh yeah, there's Real Madrid also. Yeah, there's.
I don't think we're too injured. But Madrid just be randomly winning the Champions League like that, so you never know. But if I had to pick one team, City's an easy choice, but repeating is so difficult, and I think Madrid's kind of the only team that's repeated.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on to the left of me right now. But I think Bayern adding Harry Kane when they were deeply missing a proper top-level number 9.
And
Sane looking at his best now.
Stinky 9.
Gnabry looking really good. Well, he's scoring lots of goals, that stinky 9.
He's stinky.
So I'm going to go with Bayern.
Beans.
I'm going to go with Bayern. And also, speaking of Bayern, shout out to them for having us at their New York Fashion Week event. Gave us this little goodie bag, which came with a scarf. We got to get flicked up, cheersing with some champagne next to the Bundesliga trophy at the Rockefeller Center rooftop. It was beautiful. So shout out Bayern.
Nah, these questions are hilarious. Second question.
Yeah. Childhood dream
Fuck me.
team.
Yeah, well,
Fuck me, guys, right?
Oh, my fault. Yeah.
Oh, it's just, you
fuck
don't know
me.
too much about the Champions
Zero
League
football
this year.
knowledge.
Go
No,
ahead.
it's just more so
Now,
'cause
your team is not in the
it.
Champions
So it's
League.
like,
It's like who gives a shit, you know?
who do you think is going to be relegated for the Premier League this year? Like, that's your question.
All right, let's move on.
Should he be like our relegation consultant? Like every week?
No, don't do that. Come on, Kendrick. No, what do you
Relegation
think?
battles are exciting.
No, Kendrick, who do you think is going to win the
I'm
Champions
gonna look
League?
back at this clip in a couple months, and I'm gonna tell y'all all to suck my dick.
Yeah. That's on brand for the episode.
FW.
Yeah, go ahead.
FW Reese asks, what are some of your best childhood football memories?
Off rip, if y'all didn't know, because I said it a million times already, but I grew up in Haiti, and ever since a kid, I always said, I don't know, something about the idea of competitive soccer, competitive football always was just not so appealing to me. And that was a big reason why is because some of the best times I had as a kid was just playing in the streets with my friends, with kids in the neighborhood. So because I had so much fun in the summertime, on the weekends, playing with kids, like if we had a ball, we would play with a ball. Like y'all seeing that one ball that's always like skinned and it's like disheveled or whatever. But that was the best ball to us. Like we played with that. We made the most of it. Playing in the rain, playing with, I don't know if you had like plastic bottles or whatever. We would play with anything, but I would have so much fun playing in the neighborhood, putting 2 rocks on each side. Those like 4 rocks would be the goals, like 2 on each side. And then when a car is passing by, like you would have to move the goalpost or whatever, like the rocks, and then let the cars go by. If the ball goes under a car, like you'd have to really, whoever's like the smallest or the skinniest would have to like go get really low, go under the car and try to, you know, kick the ball out. And it would be low-key like an Indiana Jones adventure, like having to go under a car to reach for the ball. It's like a whole thing. Like those are core memories, and those are stuff I still think about to this day. And it's crazy that when it happens for the last time, like the last time you play with your friends, the last time you play with your friends in the neighborhood, you don't even realize it. Like you don't even know that this is the last time you're gonna be in the pouring rain, no shirt, and just playing football with your friends in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
You don't know, but
Nostalgia.
in a way, that's the best thing because you're not thinking about that. You're just in the moment, playing, enjoying the game that you love. So those are some of my favorite.
Too.
Huh?
That's how relationships are too.
Damn.
Definitely.
Fuck.
Definitely.
Divorce law?
Slime you out.
What is yeah? Yeah.
too.
No shirt.
That too.
Definitely no shirt.
Getting rained on.
And getting sprayed on, but
For me, my best, the memory that I cherish the most from childhood.
Wait.
What happened?
I don't know. I'm nervous though.
Just go, bro.
I was just gonna say, like, growing up, my favorite football memory is late nights in the summer recreating goals, like with my friends. Go on YouTube, or one kid shouts out, "Oh, let's do this goal, let's do that goal," and then you spend hours just trying to I remember hours trying to recreate that James goal, or just like doing commentary ourselves and like trying to get the right passes and the right touch to pop it up the right way so that you can put it into the right corner. Those are like the best memories. Those create lifelong friendships for real. So to this day, like some of the alleys in the neighborhood and like the streets that I played on, like anytime I walk past them, like those memories like immediately flash into my head. So it's deep, like actually.
Yeah, and for me, real quick, was we won the Watkins Glen Invitational my junior year, which was like the best high school team we had. We had like 17 seniors, so once they left, we was kind of ass. But that year, we was absolutely balling. I think we started 9 or 10-0. We were always like a really good team, but never really won a trophy. And then we won that game. My boy Mike scored in like the last 10 seconds, like through ball, in on goal, scored it. We won the trophy, just lifting that up. That was crazy. It was like you dream of the last second goal to win the trophy. We did, so that was lit. Yeah.
Fire.
For me, I remember in high school, at the end of practice, I don't know if y'all ever did this, but we would play World Cup.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Where it's like you just create a team of two. Everybody goes in a box. Somebody's taking corner kicks, and it's just like.
Did you have to shout out the country before you scored?
Nah.
Yeah,
that was a rule we had.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was just a fun ass game. Yeah,
yeah, fun.
World Cup.
last question. Ed Villalobos, 13. Who got the worst drip between y'all on 5ASIDE?
Shit.
There's no correct answer.
No correct answer.
There's no answer to that because everybody on 5ASIDE is drippy, bro. Thanks. We all got that shit on every single time.
Come on.
Never caught lacking. If you catch us in the street,
looking good.
Drippy. You catch us in the stew, drippy. You catch us going to the bodega, even if we got flip-flops on, drippy.
Drippy.
Restaurant, drip. Crazy work.
What?
Every single time,
what?
Bro.
Airport.
Talking about, go around, bro, switch the cameras. Look around the crazy work.
Bro.
Every time.
Go in the room. Fresh
Look at
New York fashion.
Wait, hold on. Put it on Kendrick. Kendrick, crazy work. Gabe, crazy work.
What?
Elisha, crazy work.
What?
Seb, crazy work.
Puma ad right there, bro.
Yo, snap. We ain't even said. Josh not here today.
Josh not even here,
but wherever Josh is.
Crazy work in Jamaica.
Crazy work.
Crazy work, bro. What?
Come on. Yeah.
I'm playing.
Thanks for the question, though. But yeah, we never get caught lacking. But speaking of which, thank y'all for y'all question. But speaking of which, 5ASIDE, man, drippiest podcast out. Not just football podcast. It's just drippiest podcast, period. What are we wearing? Kendrick, what you got on?
Toronto FC windbreaker.
Oh, no.
Smiley pants because I felt in a smiley mood today.
Love it.
Docs on for the rainy day.
Yes, sir.
True. Alrighty. Got my McQueens on the feet.
McQueens.
Chill black Zara pants. This fire. I've been in my sweater vest era. I don't know if y'all saw my fashion week outfits. You know when Connie said, "Do you see this coat?" It means, do you see this sweater vest? I got mad sweater vest, bro. My most recent is a collab between NSG and Afro Swing group out of the UK. 6 brothers who are all Nigerian and Ghanaian. Make incredible music. They collab with a brand from Amsterdam called La Femme. We start and end with Femme, so they gave me this sweater vest that came with this dope-ass tote bag as well. Aquila Shades. Aquila, check out their store in Ludlow in New York. And then, just braids and jewelry.
Listen, man. Yeezys on the feet, Fashion Nova suede brown pants. And I wore these specific brown pants because I got to explain this kit a little bit. But this is an Africa Unity kit made by Puma. I think this was from 2010. Puma had this campaign that they did where they sponsored 12 African teams, including Ghana, Cameroon. Eto'o was one of the stars at the time that was like the face of the campaign. Ivory Coast and
Algeria too.
And a lot of like 12 other African teams. And the whole Africa Unity campaign was to basically promote biodiversity in the world, but specifically on the continent. And so they made these shirts for the campaign, and they had, games that they played. They ran, commercials and things like that. And this shirt, this was like the jersey. I don't know if y'all see, but this is not my pants, bro. This
crazy,
is
bro.
the gradient on the.
Beautiful.
I gotta.
Nah, do it, bro. The gradient's crazy. It actually blends. Yeah, turn around too.
Come, look at the. Hold on.
Nah, they did that.
You feel me?
That's like peak Puma kits.
Bro.
That was peak Puma.
And so this kid actually, to break it down, the pigment that was made to make the brown at the bottom is actually comes from actual soil from Ghana. That was used to make this brown. The brown is representative of the soil of Africa. The blue obviously represents, from the soil to the sky. And the yellow accents on it represent the African sun, or like the sun in Africa. Beautiful. And so, yeah, man. Just really, really dope kid. And I got a Beau Soleil. And I really got to shout out Saturday's Football for this beautiful, beautiful kit, man. Africa Unity. Saturday's football is now permanently in New York City, so definitely check that out. Shout out to Raul for hooking me up with the kit, for hooking me up with a nice hat. And yeah, man, just couldn't wait to pull this one out. So yeah, I can safely say I've never seen somebody wear this too. So I'm proud of it.
Until today, bro.
Very, very proud of it.
Beautiful.
Jewelry, handmade African ring also. So it was only right. Seb, send us off.
Feezies on the feet, sweats, and then an Algeria kit with a desert fox. Call back to last episode on the shoulder.
I feel like Algerians are gonna take every clip that you're in and eat it up.
I hope so.
They love our kits.
Yeah.
Mostly like y'all be having the really random kits. They love this.
Ethiopia went crazy.
Everyone's like, wait, how'd you get my kit? Like,
OD.
it's great. It's a great shout.
OD. To end it off, music.
Of course.
What are we listening to? What's in y'all earbuds these days?
Who want to start it off?
Seb.
Me. What am I starting off with? Honestly, can y'all come back to me, please? Please,
No,
please.
you're
I have something. I have someone I want to shout out.
No, you're good. You're good. Eli.
Listen, man, earlier today, first of all, I've been listening to there's this song called Kokoye by Woody Woodboy.
You played it earlier?
Haitian
Yeah,
artist.
that's fire, yeah.
But low-key, I've been listening to some throwbacks. Some middle school, high school throwbacks.
Mindless behavior.
Soldier Boy,
Yeah.
Kiss Me Through the Phone, Mindless Behavior. Say, my girl, she loves me. Hello.
Yeah, for sure.
I know I'm on her mind even when we don't speak.
Come on, bro.
Say, my
Talk
girl,
about mindless
she
behavior.
loves me.
Y'all wasn't even watching the BET 106
hit me
in
all
Park
the
Top 10.
time.
I was like, come on, bro.
My phone be ringing off the hook.
They weren't
line.
there, Eli.
Yeah.
They weren't there, bro.
Hey, don't forget to text me, girl, at 323-319-6060. Yo, stop playing with me, bro. Mindless behavior, fire.
with 'em.
That's the vibe I've been on.
And you know what?
Akon, Sean Kingston, all the throwbacks, bro. Yeah.
And you know, the world's missing boy bands, so 5ASIDE, we won't fill that gap.
Yo,
Mindless
we got
behavior
to.
do Where is Mrs. Right?
Of course.
Yes.
I gotta see her.
Yes.
Shorty.
Yes.
They had like the other. Where is Mrs. Right? I gotta see her. Yo, and they had like all the girls from around the world in the video. Shorty had a baguette with the shit beret
Yes.
on. Then they had the British shorty with the tea or something. It was nuts. That's hilarious.
Low-key, actually, I wanna apologize also to SZA. Cause I didn't give her last album a fair chance. And we was listening to it in a car, coming from the NYCFC game this weekend. And you know what? I'm coming around.
She's incredible.
I'm coming around. SZA got it. I feel like I fell into the whole, you know, when an artist gets hyped so much and I don't really listen to them, it doesn't make me want to go listen to them. Because I'm just like, everybody's hyping them up. I don't know. I just want to kind of have a moment with a song, and that could be my entry point into listening to them. But SZA.
Speaking of SZA, just dropped a song
stuff.
with Drake called "Slam You Out." First single off.
Why you look at me like that when you said that?
You did.
You
I'm
was
just
like,
looking
she
around,
dropped,
bro.
no, you said SZA dropped a song called Slam You Out.
Slime you out.
Slime me, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Slime me out.
You did do that.
No.
It's on camera.
Yeah, all right, my fault, bro. It's because I was just talking.
Go ahead.
All right. Speaking of SZA, she recently dropped a song with Drake called "Slam You Out." First single off of For All the Dogs, Drake's newest album coming in just a couple of weeks. Very, very excited for that. But the album that just came out that I was very surprised about how good it was Diddy's album, the Love album, Off the Grid.
Just a
actually
Bieber song?
probably the best R&B album of the year.
I did not expect
And he's
that.
older, right? He's a legend from the 90s. You'd think he might be out of touch, not really know what's going on. He's putting on the young artists like Nyjah and Jazzy, people like Jacquees, Kaylin Pharrell. Like, I'm like, well, hold on. He was tapped in. He executive produced it. And he showed how you can bring all these artists together to make like a beautifully curated album, something that we kind of missed from DJ Khaled's old days. And now it's just a bunch of hits. But when Diddy did it, this was like a proper album.
R&B
so I was
is not
very
dead.
impressed with R&B is not dead. I was very impressed by that. And then also my most recent Vino Friday pick, Flo Zig, Talk About Advances, very underrated, very wavy artist. Check him out.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Um,
DJ Soleil.
Literally today. So Spotify has a new feature where they basically recommend songs to you based on the time of day. So it'll be like, this is your morning playlist based on what you typically listen to in the morning.
Yeah.
Is what you listen to in the evening. And this morning, I got like a French playlist, French rap playlist for this morning. And it was like fire. But there was one artist in particular, his name is Chili. He's French, but he's also Congolese. And he dropped the album, I think, in 2022, and it was fire.
Yeah.
So like every single song, I was in the shower hitting the Congolese hips.
Nah, Spotify got it, bro. I can't lie. Spotify got
Congolese
it.
people got the
They all-
crazy waistline. What?
But the crazy outfits.
Yo.
Look at Congolese fashion. That shit is
Yo,
nuts.
Congolese hips don't lie. And neither do we, man. We appreciate y'all for joining us, for spending some time.
Let me shut this one out.
Oh, what you
He didn't
talking
go.
about?
He didn't
He didn't go.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, I'm bugging. My fault.
You're good.
Go ahead.
Demi Mula, Nights in Summer EP. Discovered it on TikTok. It's Afro R&B. Bro.
Love Afro R&B.
Bro. No skips. And the kid's small, so if you want like an artist to like put your friends on and like be
Yeah.
cool, you know? Demi Mula, Afro R&B album. Seriously, this one no skips, and it's so soothing. Put it on at like 10 p.m. You won't even know the hour has passed.
Yo, TikTok be putting people on low key.
Facts.
I discovered an artist called Red Leather on TikTok, and there's this guy that just wears all red leather, and we never see his face though. He has this big hat
Fantastic
that
branding.
always covers his face. Great branding,
Good
but
branding.
yeah, man.
One last thing.
For
One
Josh.
last thing.
In Josh's absence, he wanted to make sure we gave
Yes.
a shout out. Mo Bad, Nigerian artist,
Yes.
recently passed away. There's been a lot of like crazy conspiracies and theories coming out about other Nigerian artists who may have played a role. But he's had like a lot of sad music recently, just about saying, nobody's gonna, remember me when I'm gone, or people are only gonna show me love when I'm gone. Like his music was starting to kind of get kind of dark. He was kind of warning that he feels like something's gonna happen to him. And then he sadly passed away this past week. So big shout out to him. Shout out to his family. Prayers up. Rest in peace to Mo Bad.
Absolutely.
R.I.P.
Rest in peace, Mo Bad. And yeah, we're gonna keep Mo Bad on rotation to keep his spirit alive. If you said that nobody would remember him,
We're going to remember you.
he's
You,
absolutely
P&B,
wrong
take
about
off
that.
all the
Facts.
fallen artists. for
Absolutely,
sure.
absolutely. But 5ASIDE family, 5ASIDE fans, we appreciate y'all so much. Whenever y'all see us in public, keep saying hello, man. We love
love it.
meeting
Yeah,
y'all.
y'all are
We
mad
love
cool.
seeing y'all. Keep DMing us, keep asking questions. We appreciate y'all so much for tuning in with 5ASIDE, episode 36.
36, bro.
Episode 36.
Wow.
We love y'all. We're
Unbelievable.
going to see y'all on the next one.
Peace.
Peace. Bow.